All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierce. 1 minute while we get your client connected. Next time, please wear a tie or coat.
I apologize, Your Honor. I'll take care of that right now.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Pierce, we're on the record in 20 CCR 219531, State of Texas versus Brandon Bennett. We're here for an early termination request. You may begin your argument.
Yes, Your Honor. I submitted this request per referral from my client's supervision officer. He was told that he has completed all conditions of the deferred adjudication probation that he's been placed on satisfactorily and early. He had passed the 30% mark, which is the absolute minimum, is my understanding, for an early termination. He's just shy of halfway through, Your Honor, but he has completed all terms and conditions that were requested of him at this time satisfactorily. He's making this request, Your Honor, because he is attempting to try to change jobs at this time. He needs to get an upgrade in his employment for a couple of reasons. His mother fell ill last year, and he needed to get some funds to help pay for her medical bills and for his own support. Hearing that from my client and the supervision officer, at least through him, I submitted the request to see if he could be considered for an early termination, Your Honor.
State.
Yes, Your Honor. From my understanding, the defendant entered community supervision in August of 2022. By that count, it's been about 7 months, so he's not nearly quite halfway there. But given the severity of the facts of the case, originally there was an accident involved in the belief of driving while intoxicated. It was ultimately pled down to an obstructing, but that plea down was part of the condition of, or the 18 months deferred was part of the conditions of that plea down. Given that there was a crash in this, there was danger to society and community, Your Honor, we believe that it would behoove the court to maintain his community supervision and have him still inspected while he's on the road, Your Honor.
Bartz, how have things gone on probation?
He's I'm looking at his file now. He's completed all his conditions. Trying to see what his last interlock report was. He had on February the 13th, the report stated that he had 20 missed home samples between January the 18th and February the 9th.
Prior to that?
Prior to that, January December the 22nd through January 18th, he had 26 missed blows.
If I may ask, was he on a blow schedule where he was required to blow at a certain schedule, or just when he used his vehicle?
I'm trying to see. I don't know if he's on a blow schedule. It doesn't say. Yes. He was on a blow schedule, and the officer called and talked a lot and confirmed the defendant did not have the 26 missed blows on his old. He was on his old schedule instead of the new one. So last month he had the new schedule, and he's still. It's like his old blow schedule is still popping up, and he's going off of that one instead of the new blow schedule.
For last
It's
month,
giving him miss samples.
but he's following his old blow schedule.
Yeah. And the officer looks like she's addressed it with him. So I don't know, maybe she needs to contact Intoxalot and see if they can remove the old one altogether.
But back in December, when he was still on his old schedule, he had 26 missed.
Yeah, and then he had 20 missed this the last reporting.
Even if he was following his new schedule, he had 20 missed.
No, he's still, I don't know why the old blow schedule is still in there. So I need to ask the officer, can she just have Intoxalot remove the old one altogether? Because that's what it's saying. He's going off the old blow schedule and not the new one.
Okay. Mr. Pierce, anything further?
I would just say, Judge, I do have several questions regarding that blow schedule, but obviously it's not the time. I would say, Your Honor, at least I'm not hearing that there has been any positive blows, lockouts, or any other violations or failure to calibrate, those kind of activities that we typically can presume may be someone trying to dodge their test because they're sneaking in a drink here and there or anything of that nature. Beyond that, Your Honor, I would ask the court to consider the early termination.
Technically, he hasn't complied with his probation completely. If we're talking missed blows back in December and in January and February now as well, that's a problem. Typically, I don't let anyone off probation unless they've reached halfway anyways in my court.
And I explained that to Mr. Bennett, Your Honor, prior to today's hearing. So we're understanding this more traditional.
Motion is denied at this time.
Your Honor, may this be, can we leave the motion maybe unruled and I can get a hearing date at the halfway point and allow him an opportunity to correct these issues with any missed blows and show the court he's here, ready and willing to do whatever it is. And I can hopefully maybe provide an explanation for any misunderstandings up until this point.
That's fine. Tell you what, you can come back and have another hearing at a later date once he's reached the halfway point and you've got more information, and then we can finish that up then. I will leave
Thank you,
this
Your Honor.
open and I won't schedule anything now. Just contact the court when you're ready to schedule it.
I will do. Thank you, Your Honor. I do appreciate that.
Thank you. Free to go. You and your client both.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't see Mr. Huerta here. Sarah, I'm going to make you a co-host. Okay. He doesn't happen to be in the courtroom, does he? Do you know Sarah?
Not that I know of, but Jacob went to go call.
Judge Huerta is here in person.
Huerta is here in person. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you bring him into the attorney-client meeting room?
Sarah also sent you a text message for the other person here in person. Huerta? See them right now?
Mr. Huerta,
Yes, sir.
have you hired an attorney?
I'm going to. I just had to get my finances right. I had Adam Capitello. He told me I was gonna get him for the next one. I just need to pay him.
All right.
Yeah, I am gonna get, yeah.
You've been telling this court for a while now that you can get an attorney,
Yeah,
okay?
yes, sir.
Um,
I was gonna get him today, sir.
we're 4 resets into this case. I don't want to reset. I'll give you one more. That's it. Otherwise, I'm setting it for trial. And if we get to a trial date and you don't have an attorney, you got to try it yourself. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I will have him by, for the next one for sure.
Sarah, let's give him a DCO date to come down in and get a DCO and enter on the case, but about 3 weeks out if we can.
And March 31st.
3/31 it is.
Mhm.
You're going to show back up in court in person on March 31st at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand,
Yes, sir.
Marta?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes.
All right, you need to file a reset, just
Okay.
like you've been doing.
All right.
That date and time, March 31st, 8:30 a.m.
I'll be here, yes, with the attorney, for sure.
Very good.
Thanks
You're
a lot.
free to go.
Thank you.
Mr. Hardman, how are you?
Doing well. How about yourself, Judge? How you doing this
Good.
afternoon?
Very good. All right, let's get on the record. We're on the record on 17 CCR 193-444, State of Texas versus Stacy Lamar Harris. Okay. This is an old case. I know you just got appointed, Mr. Hardman. I know you need to get discovery, all of that, but this case is going to be expedited at this point in time. I'm going to give you a reset to come to get your discovery, get everything taken care of, but we're also going to get this thing on a trial date down the road as well. So here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to bring you in on March 31st at 8:30 a.m. for the entry of a docket control order. It'll give you one date, what I call a status date. So it'll give you some time to negotiate with the state, get your discovery, etc. And then it'll give you a trial date as well. Okay. So you will have those 2 dates once you show up on March 31st. That should give you enough time, and it should be about 3 months, I'd say, to get everything in order. So that should be enough time for you to get everything together on this case. Anything you'd like to add, Mr. Hardman?
No, Judge, I agree with that. Gavin has given me an offer, and he also has let me know he's released discovery to me. I do have to come get some disc. I'll probably come get those next week. But yeah, those dates are fine, Judge.
Okay. Here's what I'd like you to do. If you would e-file a reset for March 31st at 8:30 a.m., then you and your client will appear in person in my courtroom on that day. You'll
Okay.
enter a docket control order, and then you'll have your dates from there on out.
Okay, sounds good, Judge.
May I make a quick comment, Judge?
You may.
Mr. Hardman, just to remind you, your client does still need to be CJISed and before we come to any agreement. So I recommend potentially when you come down for the DCO or what have you, try to take them to the Fort Bend County Jail to get booked. And if you need a copy of the CJIS form, I'd be happy to email you one.
Yeah, you emailed it to me, Gavin,
Okay.
and I hadn't spoken to him about that yet, but I'll let him know.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, Mr. Hardman. Have a great day. You and your client are free to go. I'll see you on the 31st.
All right, thank you, Judge. Have a good one.
Thank you. All right, I do not see Miss Moreno.
I have not heard from her.
We'll move on. All right, Edward Johnson's my understanding. He's in the courtroom. Let's go ahead and bring him in to the room. I'm going to pull in Mr. Njoku.
Have a seat on the right hand side.
Mr. Njoku, are you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I see my video. Okay. See me now?
Well, I can see you now. We're on the record in 22 CCR 226994, State of Texas versus Edward Johnson. Mr. Njoku, what is the status of this case? Where do we stand?
I recently got complete discovery, and I talked to Gavin, and he will provide me an offer very soon. So I guess we get on docket control.
That's fine. We're going to get you a docket control order in on this case.
And
Let's see, March 31st, 8:30 a.m. Is that good for you, Mr. Njoku?
yeah, well, let me see. I think I already got something on that day, so that will be perfect. Let me see, March 31st. Yes, Judge.
All right. If you would e-file a reset for that date and time, I will
Okay.
see you and your client in the courtroom on the 31st.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Y'all are free to go.
That's 8:30 a.m., correct?
8:30 a.m. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You're free to go.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, you're free to go. Do you have anything, Sarah, on this Lauren Rideau? I do not have her in the waiting room.
I have not heard anything either.
Your Honor, I do, quick note, so their TRAS came in and they've been sent to PTI contract to sign. I do not know if it has officially been signed yet, but I think it's in the last stages of getting worked out and putting them in RTDP, or rather Safe Start or PTI.
All right, I'm going to take you at your word then, Mr. O'Brien. We'll just go ahead and wait for the PTI information to come in, and we'll give them a follow-up date.
Yes, Your Honor.
Compliance date, I should say. All right, moving on.
Judge, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. We're on the record in 21 CCR 224121, State of Texas versus Juan Garza Jr. All right, Mr. Everino, last time we were here, your client was entering Safe Start. What's going on?
He did. He's in there, Your Honor. I just spoke to him a minute ago because we were wondering about the setting here. Since he's already joined the program. He's in the middle of a meeting right now, Your Honor, but he did join the program. He already paid for it.
Okay. We just needed, you didn't need to appear. You just needed to get we need a compliance date on the Safe Start.
Right.
Sarah, when did he
So-
enter the program?
What was that, sir?
When did he enter the program?
I'll be lying to you if I tell you exactly the date. It
Honor.
was last, Your Honor, if I'm not mistaken.
If I can jump in, that may help. I believe the end date for his PTI will be July 19th, 2024. So if that helps you set a compliance date.
Sarah?
We can do sorry, Judge. You said July 19th?
July 19th, yes.
We can do July 23rd as a compliance date.
That's the compliance date, or is that the end date?
That is,
Third of this year?
Of 2024.
Oh.
Is that correct, Kevin?
yes, the end date is July 19th, 2024.
So we could do the
Why wouldn't we
23rd.
do a compliance date afterwards?
Right, we're not doing, okay.
What, that's fine. Just, I'll tell you what, that's fine. July 23rd, 2024 at 9 a.m.
Mhm.
All right. So you have Rena. You're free.
Do I
to go.
follow reset?
File reset.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So Ariola. Mr. Ariola, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Judge.
All right, let's get started. We're on the record in 22 CCR 225-730, State of Texas versus Beatrice Abraham. All right, what is the status of this case, counselor? Where do we stand?
I've not spoken with the DA or anybody on this case, Judge. There's not been an offer or any conversation at all, Judge. So I'm guessing that they said that
I'm sorry. Could you
Yes.
speak up? You're very muffled.
Okay, I said I've not been able to talk to anybody regarding this case. So, Judge, I'm looking for a recess so I can reach out to them and see how we can resolve it.
You're looking for a reset for why?
So that I can have some
I
negotiation.
cannot hear you, sir.
Well, this is what I usually use. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to.
All right,
Judge.
you cut out again, counselor. For some
Yeah.
reason, your voice goes in and out. I cannot hear you right now. Here's what we're going to do under the circumstances. We're going to reset your case to March 31st at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be an in-person hearing in my courtroom. March
Okay.
31st, 8:30 a.m. We'll enter a docking control order at that time. I
Okay.
need you file a reset for that date. Okay.
March 31st at 8:30 a.m. Yes.
March 31st, 8:30 a.m. in person in my courtroom.
Okay, I'll be there, Judge.
Very good. All right.
Thank you.
Counselor. Mr. Segura, good afternoon.
Hello, Judge.
All right, you've got 3 cases on the docket. We're going to take these one at a time. Let me get your other client. Is your client slowly joining? So hold on. See what? Let's start with Maribel. So we're on the record in 21 CCR 225-117 State of Texas versus Maribel Encarnacion. All right, Mr. Segura.
We have a plea agreement, Judge.
We'll have a plea agreement, okay. You need a plea date?
She is in orientation right now for new jobs. If I could just get another status date, we'll work one out and schedule it with Regina.
Oh, Regina's not here anymore. She's retired.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Sarah.
That's okay. You don't want me, I can give you a date a couple weeks out.
It's fine with me, but like I said, she is in orientation right now. I don't know if she's able to connect. Maybe she can tell us, but sure, I'll happy to listen to the dates.
Sarah, give me a date 2 weeks out.
I have March the 7th or March the 9th.
Let's do this. Let's
For me,
reset.
this-
What time is March 9th?
March 9th is at 1:30.
Let's set it for March 9th. If that case,
Okay.
if that time does not work for you, contact Sarah and we'll reschedule it.
Sounds good, Judge.
All right, that's at 1:30. Now let's move on to your other case. Hold on. We're on the record in 22 CCR 226138, State of Texas versus Benjamin Yu. What's the status on this case?
He has a TRAS scheduled for beginning of next week. Well, I should have said beginning of next month. So the actual date is I think I just hit the wrong button.
That's okay. We're gonna have you come in for to enter a docket control order, assuming he's not entered into the program prior to this date. Reset to March 31st at 8:30 a.m. That's an in-person docket for the entry of a docket control order.
Okay.
If he's in the program before then, obviously this whole date's moot at that point in time.
Sounds good.
All right, 1 second. I do not have your other client.
He did tell me he was having a little trouble, not very computer savvy. I sent him a text just now, but he's also has a TRAS date pending.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Segura, I'm going to give him a little bit of time. I'm going to jump to the next case or two, and then I'll come right back to you.
Okay.
See if we can get him connected. Mr. Yu, you're free to go.
Thank you.
King, are you there?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
We're on the record in 22 CCR 226015, State of Texas versus Randy Alvarado. What's the status of this case, Mr. King?
I talked with the prosecutor yesterday, Your Honor. We've got an understanding. I'm gonna look through a couple of the videos, and I think we might be able to come to a conclusion. So another short status will get us where we gotta go.
Well, I'm going to have y'all come in for a docket control order entry at this point in time. I'm going to have you come in on March 10th, you and your client both. That's at 8:30 a.m. in person in my courtroom. We'll enter a docket control order at that time.
Okay. Thank
So
you, Your Honor.
if you would e-file a reset for March 10th, and then I'll see you and your client in my courtroom in person, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it. May I be
Thank
excused?
you. Yes, you may.
Thank you.
All right, we're on the record in 22 CCR 227891, State of Texas versus Veronica Ramirez. Mr. Hecker, where do we stand?
Well, we stand pretty good. We've got an offer that could take care of this. I just need the opportunity to review it. I just got it yesterday. And if we just would have one more setting, we may be able to get rid of it.
Tell you what, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have you come in for a docket control entry on March 10th at 8:30 a.m. If you resolve it before that date, we'll take the plea.
Okay,
March 10th, 8:30 a.m. in person in my courtroom for the entry of a docket control order. If you would
very
e-file-
good.
If you would file a reset for that date and time, Mr. Hecker,
Yes,
you and your client are free to go.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Who appears for Mr. Nguyen? It's always somebody else.
I'm not sure.
I was Mr. Hecker's,
You're free to go, Miss Ramirez.
okay, thank you.
I'll give. Yeah, this is the attorney appearing for Mr. Nguyen.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. 1 second. Is your client going to be here?
Yes, Your Honor. He's outside. He's coming in right now.
Okay, very good.
What is your name?
My name is Matthew Nguyen, and the client is Jose Doradia.
All right, we're on the record in 22 CCR 227-900, State of Texas versus Jose Roberto Chavez Doradia. Mr. Nguyen, then, can you give me an update on this case? What's going on?
Your Honor, we have not had discovery, and we had a notice yesterday that there's 3 discs waiting for us, and I'm going to pick it up today to review them. We also had an offer yesterday, and we also need a little bit of time to review the content of the disc and convey the offer to the client, Your Honor.
All right. This will be another case I'm going to bring back on March 10th for the entry of a docket control order. That's an in-person docket. So, Mr. Nguyen, you and your client will appear in my courtroom on March 10th at 8:30 a.m. for the entry of a docket control order. That should give you some more time to kind of figure things out as well.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right. You need to e-file a reset for March 10th. Otherwise, you and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Mr. Stevens, is your client going to show up? You're muted.
She told me, she's been telling me for the last 30 minutes that she's in the waiting room. She described the little star. Let me see if she accidentally got off. I'll mute myself for a moment.
Ms. Lee, are you there?
Okay, yes, I'm here, Judge.
All right. Ms. Lee, we're on the record in cause number 22 CCR 226426, stated Texas versus Arthur Lee Perez. Can you give me an update on this case? Where do we stand?
Yes, Judge, beside this case, Mr. Perez also has a pending case out of the 240th on evading arrest, Judge, and that case is set for March 23rd coming up. And we would like to hold up in deciding to do anything regarding this case, because in the process of trying to dispose that case, this case may be somehow worked out as part of the agreement for the other case, Judge.
Understand. All right. What I'm going to do under the circumstances, I'm gonna have you come in for a docket control order on this case, March 10th at 8:30 a.m. You and your client will appear in person in my courtroom. We'll enter a docket control order at that time. And I'll give you some additional dates to try to work things out on that felony to resolve this case as well.
Yeah, well, Judge,
Miss Lee, there? Miss Lee, you broke up. You're about to
I'm
say
sorry, Judge. I said, may I come in either next week or the following week, either March 4th or the following week, which is March 16 or 17, Judge, because I will be out of town on March the 10th.
All right, we'll see you on March 3rd.
Alrighty, thank you, Judge.
All right, you and your client are free to go.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Stevens, have you located your client?
Yes, said she was logged on, then she logged off when she said she answered my phone. Then she said she was logging right back on. That was several minutes ago.
Sarah, do you see her in the waiting room?
No, but there is a phone number.
We don't.
What number do you have?
We don't accept phone.
Oh, I know. Just want to make sure it's her. I'm not going to waste my time if it's not her. What number are you showing?
There's a 713 number.
Is it 584-0877?
It doesn't give us that.
Yeah. I'm going to text her and say, I'll call her, tell you, I told her she's got to put her name in. Let me give it another, let me mute myself, Judge.
I'm moving on to the next case for now.
Judge, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Just waiting on your client to fully connect.
Okay, okay.
All right, we're getting started. We're on the record in 22 CCR 227644, State of Texas versus Christina Hunt. Mr. Nguolo, where do we stand with this case? Yeah, you're muted, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, we're still awaiting discovery from the state. I got an email from them yesterday saying that they had some videos that they needed to turn over to me, and had turned over some discovery, I guess yesterday or last night. I don't know if it was last night or yesterday. So we still need to get that discovery, review it in order to make a decision as to what we're going to do next.
Okay. We're still early on in this case. Let's do this. Let's bring you in for the entry of a docket control order. I want to have you and your client come in on March 10th at 8:30 a.m. in my courtroom. That's an in-person docket hearing. That's an in-person hearing, excuse me. And we'll enter a docket control order that day, and it'll give you the remaining dates that you have for the rest for this case.
Okay. Your Honor, I have a trial March 9th. I don't know if it'll be done March 10th. It's a possibility. Do I need to be there? Can I send an associate?
How about March 17th?
March 17th works.
Okay. March 17th, entry of a docket control order. If you would e-file a reset for that date of March 17th, I'll see you and your client in person in my courtroom that day.
Okay. See you then, sir.
See you then. Thank you. James, your client's still not there. You're muted.
She's answering my texts, and literally when I said to enter your name, I got a text of her name. So I told her to log off and log back on. It's pretty darn simple. I don't know what's taking so long, Judge, but you can imagine. She's there. Hopefully she's logging back on in the next few seconds.
All right. I'm going to put you back in the waiting room for now. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. We'll give your client just a minute to fully connect. Okay, she connected. We're on the record in 22 CCR 228042, State of Texas versus Deja Jean Griffin. Mr. Zom, where do we stand with this case?
Judge, we just got an offer for the retail theft program. I believe Miss Griffin needs to go just get her fingerprints done at the jail. I don't think she was previously fingerprinted. The CJIS form, and then we're doing the pretrial theft diversion program.
All right. In the meantime, before she enters that program, or let me put it like this. I'm going to give you a date to come back to court on, you and your client both. If she enters the program before then, all you need to do is get a compliance date from Sarah and you're done at that point in time. But if she's not in the program, I need you and your client to appear in person and enter into a docket control order. March 10th at 8:30 a.m. That is your date. It's an in-person docket, so you and your client will have to appear in person in my courtroom. I need you to file a reset as well.
Yes, Judge. I will file it today.
Very good. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
You do the same. Client's here. I'm just waiting for him to come join us. His connection must be slow. All right, we're on the record in 22 CCR 226216, state of Texas versus Benedicto Cervantes. Mr. Segura, what's the status of
Judge,
this case?
He has a TRAS scheduled for the beginning of March.
All right. I believe I gave you 331 for another
You did.
case to come in. Let's just do the same. Same thing applies here. If he gets in the program, it's done. He signed up, then he doesn't need to appear. But if not, I need him to appear on 331 for the entry of a docket controller.
Understood.
All right. You and your client are free to go. Thank you for your patience, Mr. Segura.
Thank you, Judge. Same to you.
Ms. Welch, you there?
Can you hear me, Judge?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
It's okay. Here's the thing. Where's your client? He's not in the waiting room.
Okay, so he apparently went to
How you
indigent
doing?
defense.
How you doing? There he is.
Okay.
All right. We got him now. All right, let's get started. We're on the record in 22 CCR 226459, state of Texas versus James Davis. Where do we stand, Miss Welch?
So, Judge, this one fell off of my pickup list on the discovery. I had a list of names, and so I failed to get the discovery picked up. I reviewed the offense report. States made me an offer. I made a counter was rejected,
I'm sorry, Ms.
but
Welch, could you
there's
repeat
still
that
room.
sentence? Ms. Welch, you broke up a little bit. Could you repeat that statement? The last
Yes.
sentence?
The state made me an offer, and I made a counter offer. I forgot you were taking it down, so I will slow down.
Oh, you're fine
Um,
there.
And but they said that they're open to mitigation, so I need to get that onto that. I'm gonna be there on Monday morning, Judge. So I put it on my calendar to pick up Mr. Davis's disc. It is a criminal trespass, so I don't really need much time. If I could just get even a week.
Why don't we do this? So I'm going to enter a docket control order on this case. It's relatively new overall. It's not an old case. So does March 10th work for you to come in to enter a docket control order? The other date I had was March 17th.
So I am flying out on the 10th, Judge, for my kids' spring break.
Okay.
Could we
So
do the week of the 20th, that week after?
hold on, let me look at my calendar. We can do the 24th.
Okay, great. I'm there for another case too, so I'll add this one.
All right, March 24th, 8:30 a.m. You and your client will appear in person on that date. We'll enter a docket control order at that time and we'll go from there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
If you do file a reset for that date and time, you're free to go.
Okay, great. I'll get it done. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Sir, you're free to go.
All right, so I know about the court date that y'all just said.
That's your new court date. Yes, sir.
What, can you repeat the date so I can write it right here, sir? Thank you.
March 24th at 8:30 a.m.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. I've been looking, Sarah, consistently throughout this hearing for Mr. Breston or Mr. Cancino. Neither of them have appeared.
The attorney emailed me to make sure that we would have an interpreter, so they should be here. I believe it's going to be Alma Garcia Rivera.
Wait, who's? That's the attorney appearing. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Crumpholz, we're going to need you for this one.
All right.
We're on the record in 20 CCR 215-365, State of Texas versus Leandro Cancino Valderon.
Este es el expediente 20-21536-5, el estado de Texas contra Leandro Cancino Valderón.
All right, we are here for a motion for early termination. Ms. Garcia, we have an interpreter. Please take pauses in between testimony, in between every couple sentences.
Este es un pedimento para pedir la terminación antes del plazo completo de la libertad a prueba del señor Cancino. Licenciada, como tenemos un intérprete jurado presente, por favor, tome pausas después de cada una o dos oraciones para darle chance para traducir.
You may proceed with your argument, Ms. Garcia.
Adelante, licenciada, con su argumento.
I can't hear anything.
You cannot hear us?
No nos escuchan.
Ms. Garcia, can you hear me? Ms. Garcia, you there? Ms. Garcia? Ms. Garcia, can you hear me? Ms. Garcia? All right, we're gonna put her back in the waiting room, give her some time to correct her technical issue. Mr. Vargas, we're waiting on your client to come into the waiting room. He's clearly, here we go. All right, we're on the record in 22 CCR 226261, State of Texas versus Esteban Ramirez. Mr. Vargas, where do we stand with this matter?
Judge, we were just accepted into the PTI program. We have our first setting on March 3rd.
So he's in the PTI program. He's been accepted, contract, everything's paid.
Yes, we just have to take the fingerprint and sign in court, I believe.
And Judge, just to clarify, this is a DWI court case, so he is scheduled to plea into DWI court on March the 3rd.
Thank you.
All right, then I'm just going to go ahead and take you off the docket. We will, if there's any issues, I want you to notify the court immediately, Mr. Vargas.
Noted,
If he does not, thank you. If he doesn't plea on March 3rd, just let us know.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
My
Thank you.
excuse.
You and your client are free to go.
Thank you.
All right, we're on the record in 22 CCR 227711, State of Texas versus Stephen Musante. First off, Mr. Stornello, if you'd please wear a
Yes, Your
tie
Honor.
or a coat. You'd please wear a tie or coat next time you appear in court on Zoom.
Yes, sir.
That being said, though, what is the status of Mr. Musante's case?
I've spoken with the prosecutor, Judge. I had sent some stuff to the prior prosecutor. And then when, I think it's Jacqueline, when she got on the case, I resent them to her. She communicated with me that she had to still contact the complainant, and then she would get with me after that to make me an offer. And I had made some propositions about disposing of the case. And so I'm waiting to see what she says on that.
Ms. Tillman.
That's correct, Judge. I have received that information from Mr. Stornello. However, we still need to complete a RIP of the complainant. Unfortunately, the phone number that was in the offense report doesn't work, so our investigators are attempting to locate her.
All right, let's get a docket control order entered on this case. Mr. Stornello, you and your client will appear in court on March 10th at 8:30 a.m.
March 10th.
For the entry of a docket control order. That's an in-person docket.
At 9 a.m., Judge?
8:30 a.m.
8:30. Yes, Judge.
All right. And if you would please e-file a reset for that date and time, you and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Campbell. Waiting on your client to connect their audio. All right. We're on the record in 22 CCR 226220, State of Texas versus Hassan Guller. Mr. Campbell, where do we stand with this case?
Judge, I was notified yesterday. The state disclosed some discovery yesterday. I don't have the videos on it. I think realistically there is a fair chance this case will go to trial, Judge. Mr. Guller believes that he was poisoned by some outside party. So we may very well end up in trial, but discovery is not quite complete. I need to get the videos, and I believe that's all that's left.
All right. Then that being the case, what I'm going to have you do is come in for a docket control order entry, which will give you some additional dates, additional court dates, plus a trial date as well, if you decide to go to trial. I'd like you and your client to appear in my courtroom on March 10th at 8:30 a.m. We'll enter a docket control order on that date. If you'd e-file a reset for that date and time.
You want me to file a reset for 31080? Will do, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Campbell. You and your client are free to go. We'll see you in court on March 10th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Hall, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge.
All right, everybody's connected. Let's go ahead and get started. We're on the record in 16 CCR 190889, state of Texas versus Angelica Macias. Ms. Hall, why don't you give me an update on this case?
So, Judge, I've been speaking with Miss Toman, and I've indicated to her that I don't have the videos. She said that she was going to make me copies of them. She thought that the other prosecutor had already did that, but they had not. She tried to attach me again to the Odyssey portal, but I've sent her a screenshot showing her that I'm not attached to it for some reason. So she has to reach out to Odyssey to determine why I'm not being attached. They did make an offer on the case. I did relay the offer to my client. However, I also let her know that I have not seen absolutely anything in this case, not even the offense report. And so that I can't advise her either way, you know, where to go with this case.
Okay, well, this case is quite old too, so we need to figure out where this is going. Ms. Toman, would you like to jump in?
Yes, Judge. So that is correct. On our end, it shows that ADA Mark Mitchell previously shared discovery back in December. I've withdrawn that and tried to reshare it with Ms. Hall, and it's showing as shared on my end. But for whatever reason, she's not able to see it. So I'll have to get with one of the people in our office who does the access to Odyssey and see what the issue is. But I believe once that's done, this should go pretty quickly since there was already an offer on the file.
All right, Ms. Hall, let's do this. I'm going to have you come in on March 10th for the entry of a docket control order. I'm going to give you one other date, then a trial date after that.
Yes, Judge.
They're going to get you all that discovery on or before March 10th. And we're going to get this case moved along because it's probably one of the, with the cause number, it's probably the oldest case on my docket at this point.
Yes, Judge, 2016, I believe.
Yes, I see that. All right, March 10th, 8:30 a.m. in person in my courtroom, you and your client.
Yes, Judge.
You file a reset for that date and time. You're free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Garcia, can you hear me now?
Yes. Good.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Mr. Krumpholz, this is your case again. We're on the record in 20 CCR 215-365, State of Texas versus Leandro Cancino Valderan.
Este es el expediente 20 CCR 215365, el estado de Texas contra Leandro Cancino Valderrán.
Now, we have an interpreter here today, and I need you to pause every couple sentences to give him a chance to interpret. And then when we switch off between individuals, if you would please pause as well.
Como tenemos un intérprete jurado con nosotros, es necesario que tomemos pausas después de cada una o dos oraciones. También cuando cambiamos de personas que está hablando, tenemos que darle chance al intérprete para que traduzca.
Okay. So, Ms. Garcia, we're here for a motion for early termination. I'm going to allow you to make your argument at this time. Please pause and let Mr. Krumpholz make his interpretation.
Licenciada García Rivera, estamos aquí porque usted ha hecho un pedimento de terminación antes del plazo completo para su cliente. Le voy a dar chance ahorita para que usted nos dé su argumento a favor de este pedimento.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, we are requesting early termination of my client's probation.
Su señoría, estamos pidiendo la terminación antes del plazo de la libertad a prueba de mi cliente.
He was placed on probation September 9th of 2021 for a period of 18 months.
Pues mi cliente comenzó en su plazo de libertad a prueba el 9 de septiembre del año 2021 le habían dado 18 meses de libertad a prueba.
And he is actually set to expire approximately March 8th of this year.
Y su plazo de libertad a prueba iba a vencer el 8 de marzo del año actual.
We have spoken to our client at length and he has been compliant with his conditions. He has fulfilled the requirements and he has not picked up any new violations.
Hemos hablado pues largamente con nuestro cliente, pues él ha cumplido en todo, ha cumplido con las condiciones y los requisitos. Además, él no ha cogido ningún delito nuevo.
So we believe that he qualifies and he is a good candidate for early termination.
Por lo tanto, él no solamente califica, pero él es un buen candidato para recibir la terminación antes del plazo completo.
State.
Yes, Your Honor. As opposing counsel pointed out, her client has about 14 days left of community supervision.
Dijo el abogado fiscal, es cierto lo que dice la licenciada, su cliente tiene como 14 días más que le quedan de su supervisión en libertad a prueba.
And given the numerous thefts that led up to this arrest, the state would request that he finish his community supervision.
Dado la cantidad de hurtos o de robos que produjeron este cargo, estamos pidiendo que el señor Cancino Valerrán tenga que completar todo el plazo, inclusive los 14 días que le quedan de su libertad a prueba.
However, given that it is so close, we will defer to the court to make the evaluation.
Pero reconocemos que estamos ya casi a la fecha de cumplir con su libertad a prueba, así que vamos a dejar al criterio del juez que decida el juez.
Ms. Sparks,
Yes.
can you tell me how the defendant has been doing on probation, especially since we last spoke and had this hearing on 8/4?
He's
Hold
compliant.
on, let him interpret.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Y la señora Sparks de la Oficina de Libertad a Prueba, por favor, cuéntenos cómo le ha ido para el señor Cancino Valerrán, porque tuvimos una audiencia el 4 de agosto, pero desde que platicamos la vez pasada, cómo le ha ido él en su cumplimiento.
Okay. He's been compliant. He's compliant. He's paid all his fees. No positive drug tests. His last drug test was in December.
Pues él ha cumplido con todo, él ha pagado sus costos del programa. Tampoco le ha salido un resultado de orina positivo de drogas. Él tuvo su última prueba de drogas en diciembre.
And he's completed all his classes.
También ha completado todos sus cursos.
Ms. Garcia, anything further?
No, Your Honor, we just want to reiterate that he's done very well on his probation, so we're hoping that you'll let him off these 2 weeks early.
Queremos nomás volver y repetir que pues él ha hecho todo lo que debía de hacer, ha hecho muy bien en su programa y por eso estamos pidiendo que le dejen a terminar con su libertad a prueba 2 semanas antes de la fecha.
Ms. Garcia, motion's granted. I'm going to terminate his probation 2 weeks early.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Voy a otorgar el pedimento. Vamos a terminar con la libertad a prueba 2 semanas antes de la fecha.
Okay, that concludes the hearing. You're free to go, Ms. Garcia.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
You do the same.
Se concluye la sesión.
Miss Eddie?
It's Edie, but I'll
Edie.
answer to both.
All right, my apologies. It's my
problem.
understanding your client has entered the PTI program.
She's been accepted. We need to execute the contract. Do we need to schedule a date to do that with you, or is that something we handle ahead of time?
That's through the DA's office. Do you
Okay.
have the contract in hand?
I have a copy of it, but I can reach out to them to find out what we need to do to execute it.
Mr. O'Brien?
Apologies, Your Honor. I didn't realize we were on a different case. What case is this?
This is Tayloria Lilly.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. Yes. The PTI contract was sent to be signed. And ultimately, I thought we addressed this case, Your Honor, that
We did, but Miss Edie's
Okay.
here for it, and I'm gonna let her, and it's my understanding that
Understood.
it's not executed now, so she's looking for
Okay.
some guidance on what needs to be done. Why don't you provide her that
Okay.
guidance?
Understood.
Okay.
Apologies, Your Honor. Yes. So the Miss Edie, the PTI contract, from what I understand, has been sent out because
Okay.
she scored low on her TRAS, which is good.
Okay.
And given her signing that contract and paying the fee, she
Okay.
should be admitted into the PTI program. If you have any
Okay.
questions, you're welcome to email me, and I can put you in
Okay.
contact with Caroline Cardenas, who is in charge of that program.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Of course.
All right, Miss Edie, you're free to go.
Okay, thank you very much, Judge.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Stevens, your client is still not here.
I talked her through it. She sounded like she clicked every button like I told her to do, right down to where it says register in blue. All I can say, Judge, is by tomorrow, I'm not gonna have any hair. I'm pulling my hair out on her. But, I've explained this to lots and lots of people, Judge. This one, I'm just not getting through to, but I assure you, she's been trying since before, since 2/25. Our status, Gavin can correct me, is basically, I believe I have 100% of all my paper discovery. I've even got a couple offers, but it's gonna kind of boil down to the body worn camera. I know that they're now ready, and I'll be picking them up tomorrow. So that's gonna resolve everything, Judge. We don't need to change the offers. She's either gonna take them or she's not, but I do need to see the body worn camera because failure to ID, of course, is, if she failed to ID, it's gonna be on the body worn camera.
All right. Well, Mr. Stevens, I want to get you and your client into my courtroom for the entry of a docket control order,
Okay,
March 10th, 8:30.
got it. I'll tell her.
If
Do I need to
you-
file a
If you would
reset?
file a
please?
reset for that date and time, I will see you and your client in my courtroom.
And that is to e-file the reset, Judge?
You file that reset for, yes, that's about to go away very soon, but we need to get all these DCOs entered on these cases, so.
Got it. March 10th. Appreciate
March
it. Sorry, Judge.
It's all right, we'll see you then. I trust that your client, she's made every attempt to be here. I'm not gonna forfeit your client or anything like that today, but I want her in the courtroom on March 10th.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Appreciate it. Gavin, was that accurate? You're muted. but-
Yes, it was accurate. I'll
I
see you tomorrow,
appreciate it.
James.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, Judge.
All right, I still don't have Miss Moreno, but I do have Nieto, Andreas Nieto, and
I emailed her to see if she was with her client. I have yet to respond. Also, she hasn't responded for jail docket, so I'm not sure.
Mr. Nieto.
Yes, sir.
Have you spoken to your attorney?
I spoke to her assistant earlier today. I think like around 1 o'clock, I called her assistant and she kind of explained to me what was kind of going on. But just to be at the court hearing at 2:30.
You know, if your client, your attorney's going to show up?
She's supposed to be showing up.
Okay, your attorney is not here. We cannot locate her. Your case is being reset to March 10th at 8:30 a.m. in person in my courtroom.
Okay, March 10th, 8 a.m.,
March 10th, 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. I should say.
8:30 a.m. Okay,
All right,
sounds good.
you're free to go.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Pequeno. Mr. Pequeno.
Sorry about that. I had it muted.
It's all right.
Sorry about that. I had it muted and I had the camera turned off. Sorry.
That's fine. All right, Mr. Pequeno. Your attorney is out sick. We're going to reschedule your matter for an in-person hearing on March 10th at 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
Your attorney will be notified via email from my coordinator of this new date. You will need to appear in person. It is not
Okay.
a Zoom hearing.
Yes, sir.
All right. You're free to go at this time.
All right. Thank you.
I believe that takes care of the docket. All right, y'all have a great one. Thank you.
A good one. Thank you, Judge.
See y'all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.